In the bustling heart of ancient Egypt, amidst the opulent palaces and temples that lined the banks of the sacred Nile, a young princess emerged from the shadows of history. Her name was Nefertiti. Born into the royal lineage of the 18th dynasty, Nefertiti's destiny was intertwined with the fate of the kingdom. Her father, I, was a trusted advisor to the pharaoh, and her mother, Tai, was esteemed for her wisdom and grace. From an early age, Nefertiti displayed a keen intellect and a thirst for knowledge. Under the guidance of her mother, she was schooled in the arts of diplomacy, governance, and religious rituals. As Nefertiti blossomed into womanhood, her beauty became legendary throughout the kingdom. Her regal bearing and striking features captured the hearts of all who beheld her, earning her the title of, "The Beautiful One Has Come." But behind the facade of beauty lay a formidable intellect and a steely determination. Nefertiti was not content to simply bask in the adoration of others. She yearned to leave her mark on the world, to carve out a legacy that would endure for eternity. Almost nothing is known about Nefertiti's life prior to her marriage to Akhenaten. Scenes from the tombs of the nobles in Amarna mention that Nefertiti had a sister, named Mutbenret. Further, a woman named Te carried the title of Nurse of the Great Royal Wife. In addition, Te's husband I carried the title God's Father. Some Egyptologists believe that this title was used for a man whose daughter married the pharaoh. Based on these titles, it has been proposed that I was in fact Nefertiti's father. However, neither I nor Te are explicitly referred to as Nefertiti's parents in the existing sources. At the same time, no sources exist that directly contradict I's fatherhood, which is considered likely due to the great influence he wielded during Nefertiti's life and after her death. According to another theory, Nefertiti was the daughter of I and a woman besides Te, but I's first wife died before Nefertiti's rise to the position of queen, whereupon I married Te, making her Nefertiti's stepmother. Nevertheless, this entire proposal is based on speculation and conjecture. It has also been proposed that Nefertiti was Akhenaten's full sister, though this is contradicted by her titles, which do not include the title of king's daughter, or king's sister, usually used to indicate a relative of a pharaoh. Another theory about her parentage that gained some support identified Nefertiti with the Mitanni princess Tudukipa, partially based on Nefertiti's name, "The Beautiful Woman Has Come," which has been interpreted by some scholars as signifying a foreign origin. However, Tudukipa was already married to Akhenaten's father, and there is no evidence for any reason why this woman would need to alter her name in a proposed marriage to Akhenaten, nor any hard evidence of a foreign non-Egyptian background for Nefertiti. The exact dates when Nefertiti married Akhenaten and became the king's great royal wife are uncertain. They are known to have had at least 6 daughters together, including Meriteten, Meketaten, Enkesenpeten, later called Enkesenamen when she married Tutankhamun, Neferneferuten Tashret, Neferneferur, and Setapenra. She was once considered as a candidate for the mother of Tutankhamun. However, a genetic study conducted on discovered mummies suggests that she was not. Nefertiti's partnership with Akhenaten was not merely one of marital duty, it was a collaboration of visionaries. Together, they embarked on a radical transformation of Egyptian society, challenging centuries-old traditions and beliefs. As the wife of Pharaoh Akhenaten, Nefertiti ascended to unprecedented heights of power, ushering in an era of cultural and religious revolution. Nefertiti first appears in scenes in Thebes. In the damaged tomb of the royal butler Perennefer, the new king Amenhotep IV is accompanied by a royal woman, and this lady is thought to be an early depiction of Nefertiti. The king and queen are shown worshipping the Aten. In the tomb of the vizier Ramos, Nefertiti is shown standing behind Amenhotep IV in the window of appearance during the reward ceremony for the vizier. During the early years in Thebes, Akhenaten, still known as Amenhotep IV, had several temples erected at Karnak. One of the structures, the mansion of the Benben, was dedicated to Nefertiti. She is depicted with her daughter Meritaten, and in some scenes the princess Meketaten participates as well. In scenes found on the Talatat, Nefertiti appears almost twice as often as her husband. She is shown appearing behind her husband the pharaoh in offering scenes in the role of the queen supporting her husband, but she is also depicted in scenes that would have normally been the prerogative of the king. She is shown smiting the enemy, and captive enemies decorate her throne. In the 4th year of his reign, Amenhotep IV decided to move the capital to Akhetaten, modern Amarna. In his 5th year, Amenhotep IV officially changed his name to Akhenaten, and Nefertiti was henceforth known as Neferneferuiten Nefertiti. The name change was a sign of the ever-increasing importance of the cult of the Aten. It changed Egypt's religion from a polytheistic religion to a religion which may have been better described as a monolatry, the depiction of a single god as an object for worship, or henotheism, one god, who is not the only god. Many scholars believe Nefertiti had a role elevated from that of great royal wife, and was promoted to co-regent by her husband Pharaoh Akhenaten before his death. She is depicted in many archaeological sites as equal in stature to a king, smiting Egypt's enemies, riding a chariot, and worshipping the Aten in the manner of a pharaoh. 27. When Nefertiti's name disappears from historical records, it is replaced by that of a co-regent named Neferneferuiten, who became a female pharaoh. 28. It seems likely that Nefertiti, in a similar fashion to the previous female pharaoh Hatshepsut, assumed the kingship under the name Pharaoh Neferneferuiten after her. Husband's death. She was then succeeded by Tutankhamun. It seems less possible that Nefertiti disguised herself as a male and assumed the male alter ego of Smenkhare, thought to be a co-regent of Akhenaten who died before Neferneferuiten assumed the kingship. If Nefertiti did rule Egypt as a pharaoh, it has been theorized that she would have attempted damage control and may have reinstated the ancient Egyptian religion and the Ammonius priests. She would have raised Tutankhamun in the worship of the traditional gods. Egyptological theories thought that Nefertiti vanished from the historical record around year 12 of Akhenaten's reign, with no word of her thereafter. Conjectured causes included injury, a plague that was sweeping through the city, and a natural cause. A previous theory that she fell into disgrace was discredited when deliberate erasures of monuments belonging to a queen of Akhenaten were shown to refer to Kia instead. During Akhenaten's reign, and perhaps after, Nefertiti enjoyed unprecedented power. By the 12th year of his reign, there is evidence she may have been elevated to the status of co-regent, equal in status to the pharaoh, as may be depicted on the co-regency stela. It is possible that Nefertiti is the ruler named Neferneferuiten. Some theorists believe that Nefertiti was still alive and held influence on the younger royals. If this is the case, that influence and presumably Nefertiti's own life would have ended by year 3 of Tutankhaten's reign, 1331 BC. In that year, Tutankhaten changed his name to Tutankhamun. This is evidence of his return to the official worship of Ammonius, and abandonment of Amarna to return the capital to Thebes. As the sands of time settled over ancient Egypt, Nefertiti's legacy endured, transcending the boundaries of history to leave an indelible mark on the world. Despite the mystery surrounding her disappearance from historical records, Nefertiti's influence remains palpable, echoing through the ages in the art, culture, and collective consciousness of humanity. From her revolutionary religious reforms to her renowned beauty immortalized in stone, Nefertiti embodies the timeless allure of Egypt's golden age, a symbol of power, elegance, and cultural innovation. Nefertiti's burial was intended to be made within the royal tomb as laid out in the boundary stele. It is possible that the unfinished annex of the royal tomb was intended for her use. However, given that Akhenaten appears to have predeceased her, it is highly unlikely she was ever buried there. One shabti is known to have been made for her. The unfinished tomb, which would have been of very similar dimensions to the royal tomb had it been finished, is the most likely candidate for a tomb begun for Nefertiti's exclusive use. Given that it lacks a burial chamber, she was not interred there either. In 1898, French archaeologist Victor Loret found 2 female mummies among those cached inside the tomb of Amenhotep II in KV 35 in the Valley of the Kings. These 2 mummies, known as the Elder Lady and the Younger Lady, were identified as likely candidates of her remains. One of the 2 female mummies found in KV 21 has been suggested as the body of Nefertiti. DNA analysis did not yield enough data to make a definitive identification but confirmed she was a member of the 18th dynasty royal line. CT scanning revealed she was about 45 at the time of her death. Her left arm had been bent over her chest in a queenly pose. The possible identification is based on her association with the mummy tentatively identified as Ankhesenamun. It is suggested that just as a mother and daughter, Tai and the Younger Lady, were found lying together in KV 35, the same was true of these mummies. Though her fate remains shrouded in mystery, Nefertiti's influence echoes through the ages, inspiring awe and wonder in all who dare to glimpse the majesty of her reign.